I have been feeling the enormity of this upcoming alignment that will fully occur on February 10, 2017 for some time now. Since there is always a new energetic alignment, portal, etc., occurring, I didn't give it much thought. I figured what I was feeling was just another step in the process of the mu cord getting closer to connecting to our physical world. I knew there was a full moon coming up along with an eclipse, and that was it. Yes, I know I should pay more attention to the movement of the stars, haha. But since things are changing every day, I don't get attached or too involved with what the charts say. I prefer to feel it for myself, and when something feels crazy, then I do my research and use my astrology and numerology skills to see what is going on. In other words, I know on a basic level what is going on and that's it. And then it hit me, life experience actually smacked me in the face. Yesterday I experienced my first signal that something was up, that there was more to this alignment than I was understanding. I didn't put the pieces together until this morning, however, when I saw a Facebook post. All I had to do was read the first sentence, and I had a big light bulb moment. It basically hit me on the head and said, "Lisa, if you had paid attention to this yesterday, you would not have suffered." Yeah. Hindsight is 20/20 vision. At least I understand now. I had a very hard time yesterday, which is not my norm. When I am unbalanced, I can figure it out and do the proper ritual or practice to bring my energy back to my central channel, middle pillar. Yesterday, I couldn't do that because I didn't know where the energy was coming from and why I felt the way I did. I was feeling anger and agitation, which was not coming from me. I had no reason to feel this way. I would connect to my true authentic self, which is clear light, free from illusions, and it would work for a little while. Then bam, it was back. Ugh. The only thing that worked was when I went to the gym and took 2 classes, yoga followed by a high-energy dance class. I am a former dancer, and I danced so hard that I literally looked and felt like I had just taken a shower. I left everything on the dance floor, a dancer's saying. I worked myself into exhaustion. I was also fasting that day after 12 o'clock noon. When I got home and took my shower, the agitation appeared again. Oh my God, when will it leave me? I wondered, but at this point I was too tired to care. I decided to look for the cause in my lucid sleep. I set my intention and collapsed on my sofa. I didn't fall asleep fully when I saw my first clue that made 0 sense to me until this morning. I had a quick vision or remote viewing of the astral version of the sofa in my smokehouse, which showed smoke floating around me. I have had many visions and actual experiences of this smoke that I haven't written about yet. I will go into more detail another time, but basically where there is smoke there is fire, but in this case it is Azoth. Azoth at its full transmutation appears as smoke. Smoke represents full Azoth, which has the power of the Trinity of Divinity that has passed through the flames of transmutation and has been purified. We cannot grasp smoke and hold on to it just like you cannot hold on to any power of God. This is a very deep concept. This is part of what was making me feel this way. Azoth fire smoke, the real power of God. I then performed my dream yoga ritual and went to bed. I woke up feeling a little better, but confused. I still felt off, so I went to my altar to do my morning practice like I always do. The cornerstone of my practice is the 5 elements practice, where you perform the ritual to balance the 5 elements within your body. It is 18,000 years old and taught in the Tibetan Bon tradition. When I got to the fire element, I was way off balance. I had so much fire in me, I was stunned. I normally do not have enough fire, and I always have to increase my fire levels. Not now. I was burning up with fire. Then I realized this is why I was feeling so much agitation and anger. I am not used to having so much fire. Then when I got to my water element, I was almost dry, which makes so much sense. Once I balanced both of them along with the others, I was perfectly fine. However, I was still perplexed as to how I got into this condition in the first place. That is when I came across a Facebook post about this upcoming alignment. I did my research and put the pieces together, and it is absolutely amazing. It's one thing to read about powerful alignments, but to live it as I did is true learning. I was schooled, and if I had the knowledge I do today, I could have fixed my imbalance yesterday and I would not have suffered. Oh well, at least I learned a lot. I never do follow an easy path. I seem to learn more this way, and then I can write about it from the perspective of life. Now, I will get into the alignment. Fire and air dominate this event on the 10th, which explains the smoke I have been seeing building for some time. I am fully convinced that the reason I became so agitated was so I would pay attention and then discuss it. I was not giving this event the necessary attention it deserves. It is more powerful than other alignment events. We just left the fire monkey year where we began the burning process, and now we are bringing that to completion this year in the firebird or rooster year. Since this is the second year of burning the Azoth, it is more refined and purified, and it is now full smoke of the highest divine energy. To begin with, we have the full moon at 22 degrees and 28 minutes Leo, and it is in opposition to the sun which is at 22 degrees and 28 minutes Aquarius. Before I go any further, I want to dive into just this single aspect from a spiritual point of view for deeper understanding about how this is impacting our lives. The number 22 is connected to the divine feminine, Magdalene energy. In fact, July 22nd, during the sign of Leo, is the feast of Mary Magdalene. I have been extremely connected to this number. One of my most amazing lucid experiences was all about the number 22. Leo is a fire sign ruled and fueled by the sun. The moon is in opposition to the sun, fire against fire. The sun is a slow 22 degrees in Aquarius, the sign of mankind. Actually, the symbol of Aquarius is a woman, the water bearer. So we have tons of fire and the water bearer, Azoth on steroids. Now, let's look at the other number which is 28. Break it down, 2 plus 8 equals 10. Most people say we are in a number 1 year. I do not agree. We are not starting over, we are creating the new. This is a 10 year. 10 is binary code, and the Azoth combined with the coming of the Mu chord is rewriting the matrix code. I had a vision on February 9, 2017, 3 years from yesterday, which is the day I started writing this article. And it was about binary code. We have a full moon eclipse on the 10th, and here is the binary number 10 again. An eclipse is about new beginnings, new doors, and in this case, a new binary code for our matrix. And to add fuel to the Azoth fire, we have the Grand Golden Fire Trine. This chart is crazy and all over the place. If I had not had personal visions and experiences with this, I would not have even tried to make sense of it. On September 9, 2014, I had a lucid experience where I saw 3 men's heads with beards that were in small houses. All I could see were their heads sticking out. They were engulfed in red flames and were in pain. I was sad because I could not alleviate their suffering. The 3 heads and houses represented the unholy trinity of our current political system, which is going up in flames just like the Tower card in the tarot decks. At the time of this experience, the star Algol was opposing Mars, the planet of war. We had energetically declared war on the elite in physical bodies. Algol is the demon star and connected to Medusa. Algol has also been said to represent beheadings or removal of the head or mask. It represents heads of state. I need to pause here and mention that I had a disturbing vision last year, and I did not write about it. I wasn't sure where it fit in with all that I was writing about at the time. I saw three major political figures, presidents, all sitting at an angle. They looked normal at first, but in the next second, all of their heads were gone. I then snapped out of it. I didn't have to write down that experience. It is something I will never forget. Algol is also connected to code. Algorithmic language. In 2013, I saw a crazy code and had zero idea what it was, until now. It has taken me all this time to put it together. Puzzle piece after puzzle piece. It was a vision I had while I was awake. I closed my eyes, and there it was. I wrote it down right away. I have the original picture of it. This is binary code in the form of ones and zeros, and we are in a 10-year. It is the year of the binary code, not a 1 year. It is interesting that the article I wrote about the heads in the burning house is the first time I mentioned this code. And here we are once again dealing with this at a higher level. As if this is not enough, there is more. On Saturday, February 11, 2017, Algol is eclipsed at 5:44 a.m. The number 544 is very important, but I won't go into that now. However, it adds up to 13, which is connected to the 13th gate that I have written about Lucifer, Ophiuchus, etc. But wait, there's even more. The Sabian symbol is in phase 143, Leo 23 degrees. In a circus, the bareback rider displays her dangerous skill. Of course, the horse is the white horse that I have been writing about, and it is a female rider. 143 adds up to 8, which is infinity, another favorite number and subject of mine. The meaning of this Sabian symbol is the supremacy given to the man who has mastered his senses and his emotions. How many people do you know have accomplished this? Not many. You can look on Facebook and see how unbalanced people are. They do not have the inner mastery to make a comment as a polite statement, or even better, to use the wisdom of silence. They have to defend. Silence is not an option for most people because they have no self-control over their mind or emotions. We are entering a time where this is a requirement, not just an ability that would be nice to have. Master your mind or become lost, unbalanced, and unhappy. To summarize a bit, we have Azoth energy, that is the energy of God in the form of smoke, with tons of fire energy, combined with the water of the divine feminine numbers. The eclipse is pulling this energy in for change, which will burn down the houses of state and the corrupt leaders. There is a fire trine fueling the others. Algol is also experiencing an eclipse that will rewrite our matrix code, and we have the number 13 combined with a horse. Oh, and did I mention there is a comet passing by as well? Phew. No wonder the Schumann resonance is increasing at an alarming rate. What this means for us is that people will begin to feel more anger, and they won't know what to do with it or where it is coming from. This is why it is so important at this time to have a solid spiritual practice to ride out the events as they occur. This is a huge one and can knock even the most balanced people off center. This is why we do meditation, so we put energy credits into our heart energy. We save for a rainy day. Or in this case, a fiery day. Be careful. Be humble. Stay in compassion. The energies are burning down the house.